Hi there! In this video, we are going to take a look at generating an ATI assessment for your class using the item generator feature. This feature will allow you to select numerous questions and plug them into an assessment for your use in the classroom. This gives you a little more flexibility than just selecting a pre-made test and allows you to select more than 5 questions. So let's take a look at what you have to do. I'm starting out on the dashboard for a 3rd grade teacher, and I'm going to come up here to the Assessment tab, and I would click on Assessment. Then I'll come down to Test Construction, and I'm going to come down here to Test Builder. Test Builder gives me a lot more flexibility in designing my assessments. Now, I've got my school, I've got my teacher, I'm going to select my library. I don't know if this teacher has a library, so we are just going to pick a library. And you will see I have some options. I have the option to add a new test, copy a test, or move an existing test. For this video, we're going to add a new test. So I'm going to click on Add a New Test, and the following window comes up. What am I going to name the test? I want the test to be named something specific, so I know that I can find it. And while I am entering a fairly generic name, do try to make your test title specific to the standard or standards that you are testing. This is going to be a 3rd grade test. This is going to be a math test. Now in this box, I can do a lot of work in terms of what are my instructions for the students. Read each question carefully. Or for a math test, I might say make sure to show your work. Good luck. All right, now this is all my title. I know I've got a 3rd grade test. This is what it's called. This is the library it's going into, and I am going to save my test. Now let's take a look across the top. We just completed test title. You will notice that ATI defaults to the next tab, which is to create a question. That's not what you want to do. You could go to the tab after that and you could edit a question, but that's not what you want to do. You could search the item bank. That may take you more time than you have. What we're going to use is this tab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th tab over that's called Generate Questions. Now, just a word of warning, because I make this mistake all the time. I enter my test title, it takes me here, and I start clicking. Okay? So just remember to use the item generator. You come to the 5th tab over and click right there. Okay, now so I'm going to click Generate Test Questions. Okay, I want to see ELA, nope, I want to see math, grades 3 through 5. So I double click. That's the item bank that ATI is going to be looking in. I'm looking for 3rd grade Common Core math questions. And now I am going to select a concept. So you have to have an idea of what is this test going to cover. So we are going to do number and operations in base 10. And you notice that the screen moved at the bottom. Now, here's where you can really have some fun. For this objective that I'm highlighting right here, ATI has 8 questions in their item bank. For this objective, ATI has 51 questions. And for this objective, ATI has 10 questions. So conceivably, you could generate a 69-item quiz. Your students may not survive, but you could do this. So for our purposes, I've really been focusing on NBT.A.2. So I want to just focus on this particular objective, and I want my quiz to have 10 questions. I come down here and I click Generate Test Questions. Okay, it's done. How do I know it's done? Well, if I look down here, I'll see questions have been added. If I come up here, I can see that there are 10 questions added to the quiz. Now, if I click on the blue hyperlink right here, it is going to actually show me a preview of the test. I double click. And as we wait for the internet, here is my quiz. Now, you'll notice I've got the name of the quiz, and you're going to be a lot more specific. I've got the name of the teacher, I've got the name of the school, I've got the year the test was developed, and it's called Under Construction because we're still getting this all together, and you'll see that it's got the correct answer checked. So I can go through and I can see if these are the questions that I want, if these all look good. I could do some editing and move questions in and out, but if you're going to use the test generator, the idea is you're looking to cover ground in a quicker fashion, and you need more than 5 questions for your quiz. If you really want to peruse the questions, then I would suggest developing your test using the Search Item Bank feature. Okay, so I'm going to close this window because this looks like a great test to me. So I've generated my questions, and I'm going to come over here to Test Status. Now, there are 3 phases of test status. You already saw construction phase. You could move it to tryout phase. You could schedule the test, but the assessments wouldn't be computed. Or you could go straight to publishing. Now, when you publish the test, that means it's ready to go. That means you can print it out. You can print out your bubble sheets if that's what you want to do. It means the kids can take the test online if that's the direction that you want to go. So I'm going to publish the test, and you'll see ATI pops up a little header that says click here to print it. Okay, so now I'm going to print my test. Same idea. And this will load in just a second. And what you're going to notice is the under construction notation has been removed and the correct answer has been removed. Now, there are a lot of ways to administer these tests. You could print out a booklet for each student, and you could print out a bubble sheet for each student. Printing out the bubble sheets can become costly because if you have a 10-item test, you're going to have an answer sheet that only has 10 lines on it, and the remainder of the paper really is wasted. If you can test online, that's the most economical way to do the testing and to test on a regular basis. And you can work that in as a station in your classroom where students are going over and they're taking their assessments. Okay, I'm going to close this. And to summarize, what we have done here today is we've gone to assessment, test construction, and test builder, and we've used the item generator to give us some questions for our assessment. That way I can have more than 5 questions, I can mix and match my POs if I want to, and I can come up with a more thorough assessment for my kids. All right, as always, if you need any help with this or any other ATI related issues, please hit me up at my district email address and I'll be glad to help you out. And I want to thank you for watching today.